enjoy English School!
Hey!
Today is November 10th, and we're on pages 22 and 23. We're back with our friend Rebecca, and she's talking to her friend Sam after she talked to Mr. Hung about learning grammar and vocabulary so she can get a good score on her test. Our title today is A Tip for Getting Good Grades.
对，我们今天呢还要继续昨天的讨论啦。就今天呢，应该是那 Rebecca 上次去问洪老师说有什么秘诀，那他用了之后，成效怎么样？来看一下。
What was his big tip? 那个有没有肚肚子 right? I mean, that's all he said, right?
应该说都很重要，有说等于没说。
Yeah, I mean, it's useful, but that's all you have. I wrote this right here, all these tips, right? So, all right, we are going to share some of our hot tips for learning grammar and vocabulary and to help you guys do better because you're learning English right now. Let's hear the story. And when we come back, we got the best tip you're ever going to hear.
A tip for getting good grades. Dialogue B. Rebecca and her classmate Sam have just found out the results of their English test.
So how did you do on the test?
I got a 97.
Wow, that's one of the highest scores in the class. Well done.
Thanks. What did you get?
I only got a 77, but I'm okay with that. I thought it was a tough test.
It wasn't as difficult as I expected.
Wait a second. You got everything correct in the vocabulary section. Did you cheat?
Of course not. I just studied very hard.
I studied too, but I guess not hard enough. Tell me, what's your secret?
I just asked Mr. Hung for some advice on remembering vocabulary.
Really? How did he turn you into a human dictionary?
He basically just told me to read more.
That's it?
Yeah, but it was easier said than done. I spent the next few days reading until I couldn't read anymore.
Well, I guess it paid off. I imagine your parents will be very happy when they see your test score.
Yes, I'm sure they will.
Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. Again, we're on pages 22 and 23. Please have your pen and highlighter ready so we can write things down. Today is a dialogue, 有另外一个对话. So for every speaking role, add a number. So 今天我们有what? 16行, right? We have 16 speaking lines. Now, my tip. This is my favorite tip for learning. Well, honestly, I have two. I really like to use music in my teaching. I use a lot of music in my classroom. I do a lot of singing, chanting, clapping. But also, I really like what's called a mnemonic. This is a very hard word. Mnemonic. M-N-E-M-O-N-I-C-S. Mnemonics. Can you tell us about mnemonics?
这个呢，就是有点像中文的口诀顺口溜的感觉。比如说呢，在大学历史的时候，我们有学过，你饿的话，每天就熬一只老鹰来吃。那我们就来背，就是第一次世界大战参战的国家。那 Chris 老师是不是有一些例子？英文的话
Yes. I have a lot of them in my classroom. I teach them in groups. My tip for you is to try to use mnemonics. You can make them pretty easily. 事实上有 APP 可以帮你。And they will give you a funny sentence to remember. I will give you a funny sentence or song to remember. And it's just easier to remember. 通常第一个字母就代表一个意思。Probably the most famous one in English is called Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. 拍谁我亲爱的那个 Sally 那个 Aunt 阿姨。他很拍谁。So you remember this funny sentence. P stands for parentheses.
就是我们括号。
E stands for exponents.
开平方，对不对？
M stands for multiplication.
乘法。
D stands for division.
除法。
A is addition and S is subtraction.
加减。
So when you're learning math, how do you remember? 你先做哪一个，先做哪一个，先做哪一个? Your teacher will just say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I learned this when I was in 3rd grade. I'm over 40 years old. And I still remember my math teacher telling me, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I use them in my own classroom. You can do them too. 教一下什么 APP. It'll help you learn 10, 15 words at a time.
The famous one in English, I think it's like for grammar, Fanboys.
Fanboys is another great one. Although I didn't learn about Fanboys until after I finished school.
You start teaching, right?
I'm old, so that's a newer one. I would be teaching that one, not learning that one. Fanboys, what's Fanboys?
他们就是对等连接词啊 F 的话就是 for 因为，然后 A 的话是 and。N 的话是 nor 也不，然后 B 是 but O 是 or、Y 是 yet， 然后还有 S so。
This is a super good one for learning English. When I was a kid, I didn't need to learn that one, but it's a good one, right? The one I use in my classroom is funny, Queen Elsa proudly cooked many kangaroos slowly. This is finish, quit, enjoy, practice, consider, mind, keep, stop, verb, and 这个动词都是 verb 一定要 V-I-N-G. 不可以 verb to verb, no infinitives, 不可以不定式. So again, funny, Queen Elsa proudly cooked many kangaroos slowly. Finish, quit, enjoy, practice, consider, mind, keep, stop.
这个考试都会考哦，全部考试都会考。
对，一定会考。还有更多，但他们是最常用的。All right, here we go. Let's go to our line. Our subtitle today is Rebecca and her classmate Sam have just found out the results of their English test.
对，这今天呢的场景比较特别哦，就是 Sam 跟 Rebecca 呢，他们两个呢刚知道自己英文考试的成绩。Oh, I hate that.
They got their scores. And you have like the big sign where everybody. Did your teacher ever like they do this move? Like you have a bad score and your teacher looks at you and like, 大家知道好不好? Don't do that, teacher. All right. So Sam says, so how did you do on the test?
Why would Sam ask this question, right? If you were Sam, would you be asking?
Sure. If I'm good friends with Rebecca and I know Rebecca cares about her grades and I know she studied, I mean, maybe.
通常就想炫耀的时候，就是对不对？就是你问别人说，哎，你做的怎么样？你考的怎么样？就通常就是，哎，我考得很好。
I got a 0, okay?
但通常同学问这个啊，通常在国中，他们就是大家在比成绩，所以压力就很大。
不一定啊 right? Like I maybe your friend tries very hard and maybe, right? 要看你是怎么样的学生 right?
说不定是假朋友，不是真的同学。
That's right. Or maybe you have a friend that is less nervous, but some people are a little bit shyer about their grades. All right? Rebecca says, I got a 97. You can say I got 97. That's fine.
对，就是那个可以有可以没有哈，就我得到97分。
That's right. 但是只 like 1000. Sam says, wow, that's one of the highest scores in the class. Well done.
哇 ，Sam 那个时候呢就夸奖他，说哇，这个是全班最高的成绩之一耶，做得非常好。
All right, don't forget 那个 the highest 是形容词最高级 right? High 一个音节，前面加 the， 然后加 est. But don't forget 你形容词最高级之后，你要加 noun, prep noun. Hey, 所以你要加一个名字，介系词，然后一个名字。So we have the highest, or we have score, that's your noun. In is your preposition, and the class is your second noun.
就你要加一个范围，因为你是用最高级嘛，所以你要点出那个范围。是全班最高，全班应该多于3个人吧，所以说用最高级。
So I have a song for remembering the superlative of adjectives. Ready? Yeah, ready? So my song for helping students remember the superlative of adjectives. 你差不多现在没有办法学习 but we'll just 播给你听。那个唱给你听。The first way is 1 syllable adjective and 2 syllable adjectives ending in Y equals the adjective est plus noun prep noun. Hey! That clap. Please clap. Thank you.
Well done.
When you sing this, you will remember it because it's fun to say. All right. So Rebecca says, thanks. So what did you get?
哇，他就说谢谢你，那你几分啊
？Sam's like, 我真的很厉害，I got a 77.
对啊，所以就不要问啊。
对啊，这奇怪 ，because 他写了 hey, so how'd you do？ 然后自己很懒。
我只有得到77分而已。
But 事实上 I mean, listen, I was a very good student, but Chinese class was really hard for me. I was the worst student in my Chinese class. So it really hurt me to get bad scores and like 不到 77. Well, 不到 77. And my teacher thought I was just lazy. Studying Chinese was very hard for me at first.
对
So I don't know. I try to understand students sometimes learn slower.
对 就是每个学生的那个步调都不太一样啦。那他就说那个 Sam 感觉蛮乐观的，他就说，我得到77分，但是我觉得还可以啊，我觉得它很难。
Yeah, I didn't read the rest of the sentence, so let me finish. So I only got a 77, but I'm okay with that. I thought it was a tough or difficult test.
所以说 Sam 感觉是蛮乐观的。
I mean, 77, when I see 77, this says you studied probably, but there are a few things. To me, when you get 77, I want you to carefully look at your test. I tell students, 你不是你的考试分数. If you get a bad score, you're not a bad person, right? Don't think that. That's wrong. I want you to look at your test and 明白为什么77分. And 如果你不太确定, you come to me and I'll tell you. So I think you should study 1, 2, 3. 你修改这2、3个东东 and 下次85以上, and that's pretty good. All right, here we go. So Rebecca says, it wasn't as difficult as I expected.
Rebecca 自己在炫耀说，没有想那么难啦，还可以。
Okay, so we have as difficult as. Please underline this. Be careful. 我有2个 as. So 这个是不到那个困难的标准. So she thinks it's super up here, but actually it's right here. It's not as difficult as I expected. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. All right, so now we have a little parentheses side here, so we're doing something. So Sam takes a look at Rebecca's test paper.
对 ，Sam 呢就看了一眼 Rebecca 的考卷了。
Wait a second, you got everything correct in the vocabulary section. Did you cheat?
等等，你每一题都答对了。在单字哦，你现在每一题单字都答对了，你是不是作弊？
Now, 这个句子没有写完 because we can say in English, did you cheat on the test? Don't say cheat in the test. That's wrong. Please write on the test. So, did you ever cheat on a test before? Don't lie.
Once when I was in elementary school. 小的时候啦，
What subject? What subject?
I think I was just passing some notes around. And
9年.
the teacher thought I was cheating, but being kind of like the smartest student in the class, I don't have to cheat, really.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's okay.
No, I'm really kidding.
Listen, I was a good student too. I would show up and and then act stupid in class, and my teacher. I think I drove my teacher crazy because I didn't have to study, and I would act bad. So yeah, but I liked school. I just didn't want to study that much. So I cheated one time on a Spanish test. So I had 我原本没有计划 没有 plan to cheat. I had some of my vocabulary words here, and then the teacher gave me the test and just put it here, and 我忘记收起来, and 我原来我可以看到. Now I think I remembered them all, but I was just like, yeah, and then yeah. But some of my students are very good cheaters. They're very tricky. I'm a little bit impressed with some of the smart ways they think about cheating. Yeah, some of them are really bad, but some are really good at it.
Creative.
Yeah, very creative. So, all right, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we have the second part of our dialogue. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on pages 22 and 23, and we were talking with Sam and Rebecca. They got their test scores. They found out the results of their English test. Rebecca got a 97 because she read those sentences. Thank you very much, Mr. Hong. And Sam got a 77. Maybe he should spend more time reading those sentences. So now we have lines 8 to 16. And Rebecca says, okay, we need to look at line 7. So Sam says, wait a second, did you cheat? And Rebecca says, of course not. I just studied very hard.
当然没有啊，我很认真读哎。
Okay, so studied 小心，请记得你要去外加 IED. Study is a tricky verb because we do have studied 要去外，但是如果你现在还是 gerund 的那个 studying， 对不对？你不可以去外。这个我学生很喜欢拼这个错了。
对。
So 规则过去式动词要去外加 IED， 但是如果是动名词还是你现在 STUDY。ING
对，然后这里的 hard 你也不是 hardly 哦，同学要小心，就 study hard 认真读书，不要 study hardly， 这样就是你不读书，所以你会意思会完全相反哦。
That's right, and don't say study very difficult， 偶尔我看到这样子，这个当然是不一样的意思。Line 9, Sam says, I studied too, but I guess not hard enough. Tell me, what's your secret?
我也有读书啊，但是我想应该是没有 不够认真啦。那你跟我讲一下好不好？你秘诀是什么啊？
Yeah. You know, here's another tip. So we talked about mnemonics on a piece of paper. When I have some words I really want to use, I'm like, 这个真的蛮好用. I'll write them on a piece of paper and I'll put them in my pocket. And so I always feel it in my pocket. I'll take that paper out and I will plan to use these words today. I will talk about these words today. And I will do that with words I really care about. And that's been very helpful for me, especially learning to talk about English grammar.
That's true.
Yeah.
对，就是你要有一个应用的这个过程，把你的就是你收到的知识，把它变成一个输出。我也会，就是英文的话，我会写下来，然后我会看那个，我会记那个介系词，然后下一次口语我一定要用，下一次我一定要用这个字。
That's right.
对。
You will, if you see that paper in your hand, you will remember to try to use it, and you just try to use it. If you have a friend like that's a really diligent student, 还是你们两个就是要进步, you can have these same words and try to use them because 你会自己用，然后你的朋友就是突然会讲出来, you're gonna remember this better. 然后你就是你会看一部电影，看 Netflix， 听一首歌，你会听到他们用这个字 and pow, now you remember it forever.
我觉得这个也是，这个口语我觉得蛮有帮助的，就是你一定要，
我觉得超好用。
对，口语你一定要自己讲过，没有讲过字你绝对是不会讲的。
Do you use any apps to learn? I mean, your English is already super good, but
我小时候还没有那个 app。
我也没有啊。
对啊，就是。
But I mean, like, because like you're interested in English, are there any apps that you like or recommend?
I'm learning Japanese right now,
Okay.
so probably dictionary. I really like dictionary that I can check the app, and with all the like Japanese is also like a stress language. 日文也是一个它是重音的语言，它不是一个像中文声调的语言，所以你要知道那个重音在哪里，就是跟学英文一样，那个重音。对，然后我觉得对细节要讲究，很多同学啊就是。比较随便，你知道 take off。但是你如果你就是提醒自己那一次，你之后就记得起来，不要等到比如说累积了100个单字之后，你才要慢慢回去看。
Yeah, no way you'll remember that.
对。
I am a big fan of Quizlet. I know a lot of students kind of hate Quizlet because 那个字卡 listen, flashcards are boring, but I do think Quizlet is a very good app. I do use it a lot. So 注音符号 is super hard for me. Like I know 注音符号, but I always forget it. But I need to know 注音符号 for little kids, and so I always review 注音符号 on Quizlet. I'll take it out like 那个 yeah.
这个还蛮多人在用的。
Yeah. 超好用 I like it. Okay, let's go on. Let's continue. Rebecca says, I just asked Mr. Hong for some advice on remembering vocabulary.
我只是呢问了洪老师啊，有一些背单字的技巧而已。我觉得他讲话，他不觉得 Rebecca 就很在炫耀吗？
Yeah. Sam says, really? How did he turn you into a human dictionary?
真的假的？他怎么样把你变成这个活字典呢？
哇塞! All right, so human is like person, but we won't say person here because when we talk about kind of like science, 没有文化的感觉，还是那个有生物学的话, we're going to say human, not person.
对。
All right, human dictionary. Okay. Rebecca says, he pretty much just told me to read more.
基本上呢，就只是跟我讲，多读一点。
And we learned this word basic. When did we talk about basics? The appliance, right? Or is it 那个 is that
家电的那一篇？
什么时候？那个是29号吗？
The basics are already covered.
Is that 29号是几月
？29号，对。
Okay, 今天是 November 10th, but we recorded November 29th already. We will use this word again. So 之后你可以翻过来 and then you could study it again. So he basically 道理他说这样。
而且 basically 是老师很好用，就是它是一个填充字，它其实不一定要是基本上，就是你只要比如说很像 well， 你不知道讲什么时候就 basically， 然后你想一下，然后再继续接下去。
I agree. Basically and basic are very good words. Basically, I say a lot. I know students will ask me something hard. I will try to make it very easy and simple. And I'll say, basically, and then 那个最基本的. It's a good word to know.
而且它可以让你想一下，你讲 basically 之后，你可以顿点一下。所以它不一定是解释成基本上，它有时候只是一个填充词而已。
Yeah, that's right. All right, our next line, and Sam says, that's it?
就这样。
And Rebecca's like, yeah, but it was easier said than done. I spent the next few days reading until I couldn't read anymore.
She sounds like she's bragging all along, and then Sam goes along with her, right? 对啊 Rebecca 就说对啊，然后我跟你讲啊，这个说的比做的容易。我呢就花了接下来的几天，就是问完洪老师接下来几天呢，就一直读到呢我真的读不下去，想吐。
Okay, this is a good phrase. This is a key phrase today, but you should underline it too so you can remember it. Something was easier said than done. Some people can talk big. They'll say something that's actually kind of hard to do. And that's what Rebecca's saying here. This is, he said just read more, but actually we'll 还有更多. But 小心, when someone says like, hey, 你应该 blah blah blah, 你要说等一下 that's 那个 easier said than done. 你不可以加那个 be动词. You'll just 回答 easier said than done.
就是你可以说 easier said than done 就好。然后这里的几个字的发音都比较特别，比如说那个 said 它是一个短音不是 said。
That's right. You guys know I hate that. You guys know I hate that.
对，加 s 的时候 says 也会变成 says 就很烦。然后 done 它也不是 done 它就是 done。对，然后 it was 其实那个 was 你可以看 it is easier said than done 或直接前面都不要讲。对。
While we're talking about this, just pick up your pen. Underline said and write 短意. 谁说爱短意？这个不是 said. Said, it's a very easy word to make a mistake, and it makes your English sound bad because you say this word a lot.
对，所以一直听就会觉得这个人英文不好因为你会一直讲到这个字。对，然后我还想到有个谚语，是不是什么 better walk the walk than talk the talk? Is something like that?
So, okay, so if you talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. That means if you say something big and tough, you need to be able to do it yourself. Some people, they're very good at talking, but they can't do a lot. They are big talkers. They are not good at doing it. So if you walk the walk, if you talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Talk is 那个你夸张 and then walk the walk. 你可以真的做吗？
对，就是呢，这个我那个时候学的时候，我就觉得很有趣，因为它一个是动词，一个是名词，一个是动词，一个是名词。就是你要讲大话的话呢，你也自己要做得到。你讲了，你要自己走路要走得到。
If you talk the talk, you better walk the walk. That's a good one, but be careful. Those are fighting words. If you say that, someone might punch you in the mouth.
有点像在说教的感觉。
That's right. You should be careful with that one.
好像在讽刺他一样。
Yeah, be careful there. All right, line 15. Our friend Sam says, well, I guess it paid off. Well, I guess it did help. I imagine your parents will be very happy when they see your test score.
Sam 感觉人很好，你知道，他得到
Poor Sam.
对 Sam 就跟他说，对啊，我觉得呢，你这个读书啊，感觉是很有成效的都有了很好的结果。我猜啊，你的爸妈应该会很开心吧？如果他们可以看到你的考试成绩，他们绝对很开心。
And Rebecca says, yes, I'm sure they will.
Rebecca 感觉很没有同理心。
No, 我有点小故意的 reading Rebecca very proudly 很骄傲. Honestly, I feel it's, Sam is being very nice to her friend. And so我就夸张一点. Really, this can be read very simply. Rebecca 没有特别太夸张的感觉, but she is proud of her good score. She did work hard. She says, I have a problem. I want to be better. And that is something you should be proud of. I think I really try to understand有严重的问题到可以还是差不多 that's really hard to do and you should feel happy about yourself. Yeah. But it's also okay to know that maybe you won't learn it right away. All right. Any final tips for our students?
Watch our show every day.
Listen a lot. Listen a lot is useful. I enjoy listening to podcasts. I probably should watch them, but listening to Chinese podcasts are important. But it's kind of hard to find level appropriate for me. It's all basic Chinese.
But if you continue for some time, you'll see your improvement. Like at first, you probably only get 30%, and in the end, you'll probably get 70.
Here's a tip. So about watching the show every day. Watch the same show a few times. 尤其是如果你有背这个，然后考试，你再看一次, you will kind of hear things again and get better and better. So 如果有特别喜欢一个话题, watch it a few times. That will be good for you.
对
All right. Well, I think we are out of time for Enjoy English School. I am Chris Gorski.
I'm Betty.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.